Hello, everybody, and welcome to Super Jeff's World. I am your host, Anthony Alicio, and today I am joined with my very good friend who said that I am not allowed to use the restroom because it would be funnier, the Stupendous Wave.
Hello. Sorry, I had to burp.
How are you?
I'm okay.
Yeah.
It's been a times.
It's been a hell of times.
These last 2 days have been hard.
We've had the craziest week. We haven't been able to record one of these in over a week because we've just been up to so much shit. So that'll explain the delay to all of you eager fans that have been just dying for some new podcasts. We just had a crazy ass week. Did a bunch of stuff. We went to SeaWorld. That was insane. I almost cried.
You did. We can talk about that. Yay. Let's talk about roller coasters for a second.
So let's just jump right into that.
Our buddy Anthony over here, your friend Anthony Alicio, because he's not afraid to say his name on the podcast. Orlando, Florida, Anthony Alicio.
Yeah. So address 12. No.
He's very afraid of roller coasters for some reason. I don't get it. Roller coasters are meant to be fun. So Anthony, whenever he feels pressured to go on a roller coaster, he begins to perspirate from his face. He gets close to crying. It's like very fun to watch, guys. It really is, because you're just looking at him and it's like someone is preparing for like a surgery or something, or it's like they have a big sporting event. That's you.
Yeah.
Only all you have to do is sit in the thing and do nothing.
Yeah. It's not like in a logical fear of dying or anything like that. Like, I don't think that if I go on a roller coaster, I'm physically going to get hurt. I just really hate the way roller coasters feel. So because of that, like, I freak out. And when I say, it's not like a super dramatic freak out. It's a little dramatic. But,
What? You can be very dramatic.
Well, okay, but when I'm being dramatic, a lot of it's me playing it up for the funniness of the group.
I don't think so.
No, for real, it is.
No, you're a liar. I've seen you before. I've seen you just stare at it and just sweat. And you're just like...
I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that for a second.
No, I've seen it. Don't tell me now that you just play it up, because I know for a fact that you don't play it up. I look at you. You tried to walk past one of our friends, and he grabbed you just a little bit, and you straight up like sprinted. You had fear in your eyes. You had the look of like you were being chased by like a wild animal. It was like sad.
We also saw penguins when we were there.
No, back, reverse.
I don't like roller coasters. I hate the way they feel. I went on one, and it's one I've even been on before, and it still takes a lot for me to get on it, because it's like, I don't know. I just really do not like it. But it was funny because I had said to you before we went on it, like, you know, there's something I really want to scream on the roller coaster, and it might be enough. It might be worth it. But at the same time, like, I would be totally cool just not going on a roller coaster and not saying it. But I ended up, right before we all left, going on this one roller coaster called the Manta Ray, which isn't, I think, that bad compared to the others. I've never been on the others, but I assume that they're worse.
They're very much worse.
Okay, yeah.
I think that you should go on them, though, because it'll be a day you'll never forget. It'll be great for me. It'll be great for your confidence. You know what? I say we go on a date there.
No.
Not like together.
Together.
No.
You and me.
That's
against
not what I
the
meant.
world.
That's not what I meant. I meant you take a girl there and I take a girl there.
I think it would be cuter if it was just the two of us.
Realistically, you joke about this all the time, but I want to know.
Oh.
Realistically, what would it take for you to ride all of those roller coasters?
It would take...
No, answer like honestly, no jokes.
It would take so much. That's what it...
Just be... Come on.
I couldn't give you an amount, like, or a thing. Like, it is such a experience that I hate. I genuinely just hate it. I despise it to the point where there's just things that I don't think are worth it. Why are you putting your sunglasses on right now?
For effect.
It's like What time is it?
9:30.
It's 9:30 p.m. and we're in your house. There's no sun outside.
I like these glasses.
They are nice.
I don't get to wear them that often. What dollar amount?
I don't have a dollar amount.
They're crazy. What dollar amount?
See, like, I'm thinking to myself, I wouldn't do it for less than 10,000.
You're kidding me.
I wouldn't. And then I think to myself, would I do it for 10,000? And the answer is, it depends.
What if like somebody were gonna buy you a piano? He really wants a piano.
I would like.
It's like $1,300. What if someone bought you like that piano? Would you ride every roller coaster at SeaWorld? It's like, what is that? Like 3. You would have to ride 3. You're making like what? Just over $600 per. That's wrong.
Your math is so fucked.
You're making just over $400 on each of these roller coasters. Guys, he's like looking stressed out.
I'm literally stressed from talking about it because it's like,
no, come on.
I hate it that bad.
Come on. $400 a roller coaster, you would get a brand new piano.
I don't know if I could do that. I really don't know. Like, listen, man.
There's nothing on the planet I hate more
than me.
That's not what I'm saying. There's nothing on the planet. Half my brain worked. There's nothing I hate enough that would stop me from like making that type of money that easily.
Yeah.
A span of like a 2-minute, 30-second thing. Nothing I hate.
Look, the thing that I'm doing right now is I'm thinking to myself, it's easy for me to say like, yeah, I would do it for that. But like, I'm thinking about like me standing in the line right in front of the roller coaster. It takes a toll on me.
I know it does.
Takes a toll on me.
It ruins you for the rest of the day.
Looking at the roller coaster. It really does. Because I walked up. Fuck you. I walked up. I'm trying not to curse as much because I've been listening to the other ones. I curse a lot.
Do I curse a lot?
No. You curse very little, actually, unless you're talking about Star Wars. Because then you get emotional.
Shut up, okay? You know what? This is for you. This whole thing's for you. I get emotional for you. You want to have a fight? Let's have a fight.
I'll fight you.
No, I mean like a fist fight.
Yeah,
like on the air.
I'll fight you. I don't care.
Continue.
So what I was saying is, when we go like to theme parks, if we're all going to a roller coaster, I will stand in the line most of the time and just go to the front and then walk out because I can't do it. But like I'll go to the line. I'll go through the line. And when I'm in the front where the cars are, make another face, I swear to God. When I see the car for the roller coaster, I just panic. I hate it. It's scary. And then I see the ascent to the top of the thing right before you drop, and it just scares the shit out of me. I can't do it. It stresses me out.
So what if you went on every roller coaster in Busch Gardens that you were like promised to like meet your soulmate like a week later? Could you do it?
No.
Your soulmate,
I would
man.
rather die alone. I'd rather die alone. Ow.
No, now answer for real for our audience. Would you do it? To meet your soulmate. Oh my gosh.
It would be a lot. Okay, well, that's a stupid fucking question.
Why?
And because it's such an unrealistic situation.
There's nothing.
You can't be like, if you go on these roller coasters today, I promise you in 7 days you're going to meet your soulmate.
There's nothing.
It's a stupid fucking
there's
question.
nothing that people our
Fuck
age
your
want
question.
more.
Okay.
There's
continue.
nothing that people our age want more. It's true. It's true.
I really do want a piano.
Would you do it for a piano?
No.
No, like legitimately, not Busch Gardens, but SeaWorld. If you went on three roller coasters
for a piano.
If you went on in the order of Manta, which is the beginner one, We got to finish. Kraken's got to be last. Mako and Kraken, guys. He's like freaking out. If you even say
I'm thinking
Kraken,
to myself in the order, like, would it be better to get the worst one out of the way first?
No, you wouldn't be allowed to get the worst one out of the way first. In this one, it's like you have to like work your way up.
I see what you do. Yeah. This isn't like, let's see if you could get through it in the way that works best for you. It's like we're making it worse every time.
Yes, exactly.
I derive pleasure from watching you suffer.
Look, I have not had as much. Like, it is so much fun watching you just panic.
I'm glad to know why you keep me around.
It's great.
Yeah.
And our friend Jesse's reactions to you panicking are even better because he just laughs. And he's got one of those laughs that it's just like, wow. Where his mouth just hangs open and he just goes, and it's like, so it's like a double feature movie.
Yeah.
It's like if I had never seen Infinity War and Avengers Endgame ever, and it's like I look to my right and Infinity War is playing, I look to my left and Endgame is playing, and it's all the best parts.
Yeah.
That's what it's like. This is what you're denying your best friend.
That's okay. Well, first off, Jesse's not going to be here in the future. He's not dying, guys. He's Mormon. He's serving a mission.
Good for Jesse.
Good for Jesse. Hashtag Mormon life forever.
That's a long hashtag.
But like, yeah, it's just a lot. I don't know if I could do it. Going on the Manta is difficult for me.
But you did that without a reward.
I did it without a reward.
Incentive. Here's
the thing, though. I look at the Manta, and this might be incorrect, but this is how I do look at it. I'm like, that's the pussy roller coaster.
That's wrong. It's not. They're all definitely on the same tier.
Oh, yeah?
All on the same tier. The other ones are slightly faster.
Yeah.
And they're not as enclosed, and you crave that enclosing feeling of like you have to be enclosed. Mako will like mess you up.
That's what I'm thinking. Is like Mako just having that little lap bar is like, it's not even a lap bar. It's like a thing that you wrap your legs around.
It's not that
It's like
bad.
A pole. It's basically a pole.
No, it's not. You didn't ride it. You never even sat in it.
We went with two of our friends, and one of them said that he almost fell out of the ride. He was like, he felt his body get lifted out of his seat, and he was concerned he was going to fall out.
If someone died on one of those things.
Yeah.
Chill out.
What I'm saying, though, is I'm not afraid of actually falling out of that seat. I'm afraid of feeling like I'm going to be afraid of falling out of that seat. You know what I mean?
Because when you do it's like a fear of death thing.
Yeah.
So, like, let's equate it to something. It's like a fear of death thing. It would be like if you approached a normal person and, like, put them in the ocean with, like, a great white shark. Yes. Like a hungry great white shark. And you're like, it's okay. They don't eat people. That's how you feel getting on roller coasters. Am I close?
Sure.
No, for real. Am I close?
You know how... Here's a better way I would say to describe it. Is imagine you're in the ocean with a great white shark. You're swimming there. And in the meantime, this great white shark is being fed. And you know that there is a 0% chance that that great white shark is going to eat you. It's eating something else that it wants to eat more than it wants to eat you. And somebody can basically guarantee you that shark will never touch you. That being said, you were swimming next to a great white shark, and it's going to scare the shit out of you no matter what. So it's like...
You see, I feel like in that situation, I would definitely still swim next to the shark.
Yeah, well, honestly, I feel like I would rather swim next to a shark because it's not a fear of death thing. I just physically hate the sensation of falling. That's all it is. I hate it to the point where it stresses me out like crazy. It's not a fear of heights either. I don't have a fear of heights.
Anthony fell the other day in the best way.
Oh, I don't know if I want to talk about that.
Okay, let's just save it. Let's save it. Let's go back to the roller coaster.
It's just such an immature thing.
Let's go back to the roller coaster.
Okay, so... I just fucking hate roller coasters.
I saw your face when you fell too.
I fall.
It was pain.
Frequently, right? I have a tendency to trip on things.
You're just not coordinated.
Yeah, no, it's funny too. I'm the type of person that should be coordinated, but I'm
Yeah,
not.
because you're a drummer.
Yeah.
But you just like can't. All your injuries are self-inflicted.
Dude, you know how like people have like a center of balance?
Yeah.
I don't. I just don't fucking have one. If I'm sitting down, chances are I won't fall.
What? So you hate the sensation of falling that much?
Yeah. Absolutely.
So like you would never jump out of an airplane? Like that is absolutely like out of the question. Because that's like the ultimate fall.
There's a mental thing in my head where it's like, I'm not going to be the first one to volunteer to go skydiving. That would, I feel like, scare me a lot. But at the same time, I feel like jumping on a plane is probably different. Because I imagine it's less like you're falling and more of a, you're suspended in air and you're just looking at a picture of the earth almost.
I have gone skydiving before.
Is it just completely the
I
sensation
jumped out of an
falling?
airplane at 10,000 feet.
Yeah.
It was so much fun. Mm-hmm. It is one of the scariest things I've ever done.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is it scarier in the plane or scarier out of the plane?
In the plane.
Yeah. Because it's all just...
Actually, the scariest moment is right before the jump.
Yeah.
This is what happens. I'm a big dude. I'm like 6'3". Mm-hmm. And the guy that was with me was really short. So normally what happens is he will be the one to roll out of the airplane.
Yeah.
But because I'm so big, he couldn't be the one to roll out of the airplane. Like you would normally just roll out and fall. But what I had to do is we actually had to literally jump. It wasn't a roll. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So we sat on the ledge and I had to jump because I'm way taller and way bigger than this guy is.
Yeah.
This guy's like a little midget on my back. My sister's fine.
It's little people. Midget's offensive.
Oh, sorry. He wasn't even a midget. Anyway.
Dwarf.
He hands me these goggles. And like I said, normally you would roll out and you would be fine.
Yeah.
But I had to stick my legs out the airplane and then jump myself. That is one of the scariest moments of my entire life.
Yeah.
Right there. And you're in that airplane for like 15 minutes. Mm-hmm. And let me tell you, when you get in the airplane and the airplane takes off, you're feeling great.
Yeah.
5 minutes pass, you're not feeling great.
You keep getting higher and higher.
5 minutes pass and it's like, holy crap, that's far away. And then it's like 5 more minutes pass and you're like, how long till I jump? I just want to get out of this plane. And then 5 more minutes pass and it's time to jump and you're like, I don't want to get out of this plane. And then you just got to jump. It's terrifying. But after you jump and after you're falling, it's a lot of fun. That said, it's not like being suspended and you're looking at a
It's
map.
not.
You absolutely feel and know that you're falling.
Yeah. All right, so not for me then.
So much fun, though. So much fun. And it's something a lot of people don't get to do. And if you've gone skydiving, like that's something that you talk about.
Yeah.
Have I told this story before? It's like we rolled up to this place and on the side of a van, skydiving
I think you
was
have
written
told me this.
in like a spray can.
Yeah.
It looked like a 4-year-old wrote it in crayon.
Could I finish your story really quick?
Sure, go
to
for
see
it.
if I know what you're going to say.
Yeah.
And then a guy pulled up in a motorcycle. He might as well have had a beer in his hand. And he was like, all right, you guys ready to go skydiving?
Yeah, he had a smoke.
He was smoking a cigarette.
Smoking a cigarette.
Then he pulled up in a motorcycle.
He was like, so you guys want to go skydiving? And they was like, yeah. And he was like, that's your first mistake.
It reminds me of Country Mac from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, how he rides a motorcycle and he always has a beer in his hand.
This guy was so awesome, though.
Yeah.
And I was terrified until I asked him a single question, and then I felt better.
Yeah, what was your question?
How many times have you jumped out of an airplane?
Mm-hmm. How many times?
5,000.
That's so much.
Yeah.
There's a lot of junkies.
Yeah.
That, like, they aren't satisfied anymore by like the thrill of doing drugs to the point where it literally takes like jumping out of an airplane.
This guy had definitely had his fill of drugs.
Yeah.
And another thing is he had fake teeth. He like pulled out his
people hitting his head.
He pulled off his teeth and he smiled and he was like, you know how this happened to me, right? And I was like, bro, I don't know what the hell is happening right now. How do you want me to expect that? How do you want me to guess what happened to you? What happens is that window opens and he says that people go, oh shit! and then they throw their heads back,
Yeah.
and they knock his teeth out.
Damn. That sounds so painful.
It was scary too. The whole ride up, he opened the door. He opened the door to the airplane, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, I'm not going to throw my head back, obviously. But he said something right before we jumped that scared me so bad.
What?
He looked at me and he's like, "You ready to shit your pants?" And then he told me, "Get your feet out there." And I was like, okay. I'm more scared of you right now than the ground. So yeah, that's my whole story. I'm just saying, like, if I can jump out of an airplane, you can ride a roller coaster.
Okay, well, what I'm saying is that doesn't make any fucking sense. So how about I do me, you do you, and then and we'll be good.
No.
It would be funny if somebody was skydiving or like an instructor and told you before you jumped, if the parachute doesn't open, make sure you land on your feet, because if your legs break, you'll probably still survive.
No, you would, at 10,000 feet, all of you's gonna.
Yeah, I know, but like
you're going straight into the ground.
Have you ever heard that? Like if you're gonna fall a really high fall, if you land on your back or if you land on your side, or like, you're gonna die, because
How
the impact
high up
is
that? I've heard that 80 feet you die.
80
no
feet
matter
kills
what.
you. Yeah, 80 feet kills you. So if you were gonna like jump off a bridge and it wasn't 80 feet tall, you probably wouldn't die.
I heard that like if you jump into water above 80 feet, it's like hitting concrete.
Yeah, because you're still, for the most part, making contact with a solid.
You know how people will jump off of bridges because they think it's quick?
Yeah, it's not.
No, people break their legs when they hit the water.
Yeah.
And then they struggle as long as they can with their arms to keep themselves afloat.
Yeah.
And they eventually just give out and drown while their legs are shattered.
If you want to...
If you don't die of shock.
If you want to die from jumping off a bridge, you essentially have to do a belly flop. And if you've ever done a belly flop in a pool, have you ever done one?
Yeah.
Yeah, it fucking hurts. And that's a 2-foot drop, you know?
Right.
So, like, if you do that at 80 feet, you'll probably die. If you land feet first, your feet are going to break the surface tension of the water, and it will lessen the impact. It'll still hurt. 80 feet will hurt you. But you're not going to die immediately, probably. There's like a myth that if you jump, there's like a story of a construction worker or something, and he fell trying to kill himself off of a bridge, but he had like his tool belt
Then
on him.
he jumped. He didn't fall.
He jumped, yeah. So he jumped, but there was like a story that like he jumped and like his hammer fell first or something like that. He had a hammer on his belt, and the hammer hit the water before he hit the water, and it completely broke like the surface tension, and he survived because of that. But I don't know if that's true. It's probably not.
That doesn't sound right.
Yeah, because I don't think it would even be big enough. But like there is some sort of science thing between like the way you land will determine what the water does, and that's what's ultimately going to kill you, is just how much that water acts like a solid. So like if you belly flop, you'll die. If you land feet first, you'll probably not die.
That's still a horrible way to go.
Yeah, I would recommend gun.
You're gonna get demonetized, bud.
I'm not monetized to get demonetized. No, don't kill yourselves. I think that killing yourself is the dumbest thing you could do. Or is it the smartest?
Lighter topics.
Okay.
Anthony, will you commit to riding every single roller coaster at SeaWorld if you get 100,000 subscribers this year?
This year, yes.
This year?
Yes. I will go on every single ride. This year, 2019, 100,000 subscribers, I'll go
And
on.
we will record it.
And we will record it. We will make a vlog out of it. And you will wear a ski mask to hide your identity.
I was thinking like a big hat.
A big hat? Okay.
And
makeup.
They're going to think I'm going to steal an orca.
Bro, I say we ride all the roller coasters and steal an orca.
Those things are like worth $1 million, I think.
Oh, I think it's probably more than $1 million.
Millions if you get the males.
Yeah, that was the thing with Tilikum, is he was so valuable because he was a breeding whale.
Yeah.
And that's why they wouldn't get rid of him, even though he ate a person.
Yeah, exactly. You saw the same documentary as I did, Blackfish.
Yes, it's a good documentary.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Let's bang it out.
I'm out. Ow! I just spilled a drop of water on my leg. That's why I screamed ow. Jeez, wow, that's impressive how good your aim is when you do that. But yeah, I'm really upset that I didn't see that orca eat that lady. and I feel like after watching that documentary, if I ever went to go see that show, that it would just be disappointing because it's like all the excitement's gone. You know what's crazy? I do want to. It's a joke. It's a goddamn joke. Okay. Isn't it funny going to SeaWorld and walking through what essentially just feels like a ghost town? Every line for the best rides at SeaWorld, for every roller coaster, every line was 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. Which is just like, go to Universal, go to Disney. Yeah, that'll never happen.
We went in the off season, to be fair.
February isn't the off season.
What's the off season?
The off season is probably oh man, I don't even know. I just know that February.
I definitely heard January was like really not fast at all.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, I might be wrong. I'm probably wrong. But
and it was a weekday.
Yeah, it was a weekday, but it was like, I mean, this place was so empty. There's just things there that weren't even open.
Yeah.
Because it was like they didn't even have the staff, I bet, to put people there, because it's like, why are we going to hire all these people to man all these things to make no money? Yeah, it is a business. They have to think like that.
Mm-hmm. Which is, it's kind of sad because SeaWorld used to be, wasn't it just as poppin' as like the other, like as poppin' as like Hollywood?
I don't know.
Not Hollywood Studios, Universal.
I don't know if it was ever at that level, but it was definitely more at that level. And there's just a few things that like have been contributing to its failure.
That documentary killed
that documentary. I remember when that documentary came out, like you could see SeaWorld stocks just plummeting.
Yeah.
And I've heard, I have a cousin who actually worked at SeaWorld as a dolphin trainer.
Wow, that's awesome.
And she said that the way they treat the animals there is like amazing. Like they go out of their way to make sure that like they take care of those animals. That being said, that documentary really makes you feel like, wow, SeaWorld is the worst company on the planet, and a whale ate a woman there. But I don't know. It's definitely a combination of that documentary. It's a combination of it being in a place where it's like, the reality is there's just better options. And especially if you're native to Florida.
Bro, I have it's $250
yeah,
to go to Busch Gardens and SeaWorld, like, for an entire year.
Yeah.
With free parking. Which is awesome. That's what my girlfriend and I are going to do. Like,
yeah.
Every other week, we're just going to go to either SeaWorld or Busch Gardens. And it's awesome because it's like a $100 ticket thing and we don't have to pay anything.
Yeah. But anyway, what I was going to say, if you're native to Florida, and especially if you're local to the Orlando area, chances are you probably go to theme parks every now and then just because they're there, like it's a thing you could do that not a lot of people could do.
Halloween Horror Nights!
Yeah. But like for me, going to SeaWorld is fun, but I'm not too intrigued by going to anything ocean themed, only because I grew up by the beach and I've been to the beach, 1,000 times in my life. I've swam with manatees and I didn't have to go anywhere to do it other than the beach.
You swam with manatees?
Yeah, I've swam with manatees before. Because every now and then you'll just go to the beach and there's going to be manatees there. And when you go to them, it's actually illegal to touch them because they're endangered. But you could swim next to them, and you could, like, if you got like a mask or like snorkels, like you could see them, and like it's a really cool experience actually.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's cool to see it like just in the wild.
I remember I took my sister to the springs. What's that called?
What, Kelly Park?
Kelly Park Springs. And she swore up and down she saw an alligator, but like,
yeah,
no way.
That was funny. I went to that place too, and there's a sign.
Yeah, without me. You were just kind of like, hey, did you have a good time there? Because I invited him. I wanted Anthony to meet my sister. He was like, did you have a good time there? And I was like,
busy.
yeah.
I don't remember what.
No, you went you went with someone else.
But like, I know that I went there with somebody else, but It was like I had something I had to do earlier that day because we went the same day, right? It's just that you went in the morning and I went later.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I was just busy in the morning.
You just didn't want to go.
That's true.
Ow. You didn't want to go.
I'm trying to remember the events of the day and what kept me busy in the morning, and now I'm realizing I probably was just, like with the person that I went to all day, or I went with all day.
Yeah, girls will do that.
Yeah. Let's move on.
Let's talk about girls. So Anthony had some... Never mind. I can't tell. You got to tell me what I can and can't talk about before
you talk about whatever you want. I don't care.
Okay, really?
Sure.
Thank you. Anthony met a few nice people the other day, and I'm very happy for him, actually.
Thank you.
So we got a few prospects for Mrs. Alicio. And I'm really excited. One of the girls was a girl that I actually thought that he would like. So
yeah, that was funny that you had like told me like, oh, I ran into this girl and I think like you would really like her, and she's like a musician and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. And I don't remember if you ever told me her name, but if you did, I certainly never remembered it. And then
I'm pretty sure I did tell her.
You did? Yeah. I didn't remember it. And then like when you weren't there, I ran into this girl and we talked a lot. And then I told you that I had run into her. And then you were just like, oh, that's the girl I was telling you about. So it's funny how it's like you like recommended somebody to like, try to meet. And then like, just by coincidence, I ran into them, and then
I'm
like
the matchmaker, Stupendous Wave.
You're the matchmaker. Meanwhile, you didn't even make a match.
I did make the match. Okay. I'm the match caller, Stupendous Wave. Recommendation, a new YouTube channel, how to recommend girls to friends. Yeah. Wave. Yeah, I'm happy for you. I'm hoping that you can go on a date soon, and you can get all your feelers felt.
All my feelers felt.
And that you can just...
Yeah.
Yeah. You deserve a good girl, or at least an above average girl.
Thank you. But yeah,
should I clap?
Yeah, no, it's like it's just hard trying to find the person
love
that
true love.
It's hard to find the person you really want to be with. I don't know. There's probably people listening to this that everybody struggles with this.
Yeah, everybody on the planet.
You're going to run into people, and they're going to be people that you're head over heels for, and it's just not going to work out. Like, they're not going to be into you the way you want them to be, and it's like, regardless of that fact, it's not like a you problem. It's just like the reality is there's just certain people that just aren't into other people. That doesn't make you lesser, or it doesn't make you ugly or anything. And you could be like, you could feel down about it. It's just like the reality is there are certain people that you're just not going to be attracted to, and there are people that are just not going to want to be with you, not for any malicious reasons. And then there are people that you're going to run into in your life that you could look at on paper and say that this person is perfect for me, and you're not going to like them. It's just a weird thing. Like, there's got to be some sort of like connection that, like, regardless of who the person is,
not
like,
describable.
Yeah, it's weird because it's like, I don't know. Help me explain this. I feel like I'm just getting lost in my own thoughts.
Like you said, on paper there are girls or guys.
Yeah. For all the women listening to this podcast.
Or guys.
Yeah. Or guys that are into guys.
Everything's cool, my guys.
Yeah. We support that. There was a guy the other day that I thought was flirting with me, and I was unsure because he was being like very handsy with me. And I was just like, hey, you know what? I don't judge if that's the way you are. I'm pretty sure he's a totally, heterosexual male, but he's just like, there's a thing called love languages. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
There are just ways that people communicate with each other, and one of those ways is physical touch. So there are people that just like, when they talk to you, they'll like put their hand on your shoulder or something like that. And it's just like, that's just how they communicate.
I consider that an attack.
What would you consider a protect? Cats.
When they would look out the window and hiss at
uninspired
other
answer.
cats. Kyla, my little angel cat saw another cat besides her sister for the first time, and her mind was blown, dog.
Yeah, cats react crazy to seeing other animals sometimes. Like a month ago, you know how like at my house there's like the that little back patio area, and there's like it's screened in.
The most nastiest part of your
It's not nasty. Dude, the back patio? It's not nasty.
Okay.
It's just outside.
It's not nasty.
Okay, whatever. Point is, it's got the best view ever. Okay?
What?
It's got a great view.
Of the ocean?
Of the ocean. It's a nice view. There's all those trees and the ocean there. And by the ocean, we mean there's a small little body of water. It's like a canal, but it's not like a line. It's round like a lake.
It's the ocean.
I don't think it's big enough to be a lake. It looks like a lake. And the point is, one day, there was a squirrel, and it was just on the screen, growling at the cats. And the cats, all of them were outside.
All 4 of them?
I have 4 cats.
That's why your house.
3 of them were all rescued at the exact same time. 3 of them are sisters, and one of them came like, 6 years later.
Who are the 3 that are sisters?
Or brothers and sisters.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah, Cami, Yoda, and PJ are all their names. They're
all brothers and sisters?
Yeah, they're all brothers
They all
and
look
sisters.
so different.
Yeah, it's weird. But what happened? I've told you this story before, right? There was a lady that lived in a apartment complex next to the house that I was living in back when I was maybe 13. And she was crazy. She had some sort of mental disability. She had no money. She got evicted from her apartment.
What lady is this?
Just a lady that lived close to my house. It wasn't in the same...
Not next to you?
Not...
Because we have a crazy story about a lady that lived next to you that I would like to tell.
Oh, yeah, sure, yeah. But no, this is way back
Crap!
in the day.
Someone asked us if we had a crazy story today, and I didn't remember the crazy old lady story.
Okay, but that's not even that crazy of a story.
It was crazy.
Okay, let me get to the story really quick. We have changed topics like way too many times in the span of 1 minute.
It's fire.
Yeah.
It's a
rapid
fast
fire. Rapid fire.
I was gonna get that.
Rapid fire. So like this lady, mentally not all there, had bad money problems. Lived in like, it was weird. My neighborhood that I lived in was like a pretty normal neighborhood. It wasn't like at all like a neighborhood where you would see like poverty or anything like that. All the houses were clean and the lawns were clean and all that stuff. And it backed up right to a neighborhood that was like really like, dirty looking. It was just like a, instantly like you cross one like row of bushes and you're in a bad part of town. I have no idea why it was like that. But there was this lady there and she would feed all these cats and she was just like, she had a lot of problems. The point is she got evicted and they boarded up the windows to her apartment because they had broken, I guess, or they were trying to prevent people from breaking in. And I was concerned at the age of like 12 or 13, whatever it was, that there was like cats stuck in her apartment because I knew that she had so many or fed so many. And when they boarded up one of the windows, it was just open like an inch where you could see into the apartment. And I looked in there and I saw a tiny little 2-week-old kitten. And I was like, oh my God, I gotta like do something about that because that kitten's going to die. So I got my dad and we took the wood off the windows and broke into this apartment and we searched the entire thing and we found 3 little 2-week-old kittens. They had just opened their eyes and you could fit all 3 of them in the palm of one hand. And and we were like, okay, well we gotta take care of these things. We gotta find a place where we could take them. And what happened was we took care of them and realized that we liked them a lot and we just never got rid of them. And then the 4th cat that I have was, I went to college and I had my own apartment and I wanted a kitten. And I found one on Craigslist and I told
I've never heard this story.
Yeah. So basically for the past 4... probably longer, probably 5 or 6 years, I've lied to my parents about the origins of this cat.
Really?
Yeah. I've told them that...
Do they still not know?
They still don't know. So
Can I tell them?
Nope.
Yes.
Dude, no, seriously. I can't tell you how many people I've told this story that are all helping me keep the secret just because it's a funny story.
Okay.
But like, I literally went on Craigslist and found a kitten for $20. And when you go on Craigslist to find a kitten, it's funny because like most people will charge you $20, not as a fee for the cat, but just to prove that you have $20 that you could spend to feed the cat. Uh-huh. It's a weird thing. I don't know what people are doing with cats, but
are there a lot of Craigslist kitties?
Yeah, all the time. You know why? Because people always find kittens. Because there's a lot of in the state of Florida, there's actually a lot of cats that just live outside. What is it? What's the word? I don't want to say stray. I think there's a different word. But basically, yeah, stray wild cats, and they have kittens. Somebody finds them, and you know they go, okay, well, we need to find these things a home because chances are they're gonna die outside. Not all of them do, but the chances are higher. So people, they find them, they put them online. The cat that I found on Craigslist, somebody said that there was a box of them just left outside. Somebody like took a box of kittens and just put it outside from their car and left it. Which, I mean, when her name is Mitten, she was so tiny when I got her, she would never be able to fend for herself. There was no mother cat. So anyway, I told my parents that I found this cat in a bush outside of my apartment. I was like, I heard him meowing, and I was like, oh my gosh, there's a kitten. And I went and I just took it. And what I did was I found one on Craigslist because I just wanted a kitten because I like cats. I don't.
Who sold it to you?
Just some random couple that found the box of kittens that somebody just left outside.
Did you get to pick, or was it like...
Yeah, there was like 4 of them. Mm-hmm. And I picked this one just because it was like, I thought that she was the cutest one. So I was like, oh, I want the cute one. And I regret it because Mittens is a total bitch.
Really?
Yeah, I think I did a shitty job raising her because I have 4 cats and only
That's
one...
crazy. My cats are so nice.
Yeah, well, I have a few cats. Okay. Cammy, who is one of my cats, nicest cat ever. Is nice to strangers, is nice to new people, is nice to the people that she already knows. You never see her hiss. Like, she's just a great cat. PJ is really afraid, but he's also a really good cat. And if he knows you, he just, like, you know, wants so much attention from you. Mm-hmm. Yoda is a mixed bag. She's really nice, but, like, she's just got a weird bunch of shit that she does. She also has asthma, and it's the funniest thing. Because out of nowhere, she'll just, like, breathe really heavy, and she'll, like, it's so awkward, and you're just like, oh my god, this cat's gonna die. And then it's over in like 20 seconds. The other day she had an asthma attack and she was laying on her back, and I've never seen that before. So she looks like she's dead. She's laying on her back, she's rolled over, and she's just breathing really heavy and like having an asthma attack. And I was like, oh no, she's gonna die. And then Mittens is afraid of hands. So if Mittens sees your hands, she's going to freak out.
How did you do a bad job of raising this cat?
I think I pet her too much.
Really?
I don't know. Like, basically, if you play with your cat when they're a kitten with your hands a lot and train them to attack them by, like, grabbing onto them and biting them and stuff, they just get used to it. You know what I mean? So, like, her toys were my hand. Mm-hmm. So over her life, that's what she's learned to scratch.
How long were you in an apartment with Mittens?
About a year.
Before your parents took her and stuff?
Yeah. So it was funny though.
And your roommates were cool with it?
It was me and my brother.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, this was after I had my roommates.
So who made the decision to get the cat?
I don't know. It's probably a joint decision. But
so you guys went together to get it?
Yeah. It's just boredom. You're just like, you know, we should get a cat.
Did you guys have a lot of friends here before?
I mean, we had friends in our classes and stuff, but we didn't like throw parties or anything like that. I had way more friends when I was like living with my roommates, because it's like I had 3 roommates, which were this is the dumbest thing ever. I had 3 roommates. One of them had a girlfriend, so his girlfriend fucking moved into his room, and they also had a dog. And they also had a kid.
Oh, yeah, you've told me that these roommates were just the worst.
They were the worst roommates ever. So, like, right off the bat, I'm supposed to have 3 roommates. I had fucking 5. Because I had not only this one guy who went by the name G, and then, like, he had his girlfriend, which would literally fight to the point where the police were called on multiple occasions. And
how big of an apartment was this? Was it bigger than my house?
No, it was like 1/4 the size. It was one common area.
So like this front room.
Yeah, one common area that was the size of the room that we're in now, and then 4 little bedrooms. And
So the size of my house, minus the other big bedroom and the kitchen.
Okay, but imagine your house as this room. The kitchen is where that couch is, and then 4 bedrooms that are all probably the size of like your office area.
Ooh, that's how big your bedroom was? Just my office area?
Yeah, like big enough for a bed.
Wow.
Big enough for a bed in the closet in a bathroom. A tiny little bathroom.
I got to bring something up to you. That's just...
Okay.
Keep going.
But point is, like, I lived with these roommates. 2 of them were total burnouts. So, like, all they did was smoke. One of those burnouts had a girlfriend that lived there who was not supposed to live there. And they had a kid. And they would get into fights all the time to the point where child services actually took the kid away.
The kid lived there?
Yeah. The kid lived there. Where else was he going to live? And then they took him away and they sent him to St. Thomas, which is where like his grandparents were or something like that. So they actually had to take the freaking kid away from these people. It was so funny. And I remember when that kid was taken away, I was like, that is going to be the luckiest day of that kid's life forever.
Was the kid a good kid?
He was like 2.
Oh.
He was really young.
Wow, that sounds awful.
Yeah. It was just the worst. And like they wouldn't walk their dog. They had a dog. And like there was a balcony because we were on like the 3rd or 2nd floor or something like that. Mm-hmm. And they would just put the dog on the balcony. The balcony was probably the size of this table, and it would just shit on the balcony because they wouldn't walk it. So basically, when I first moved to Orlando,
these people were going to college.
2 of them were. I don't think that.
How did they get in there then?
I don't know. What
is the story? How did you end up in that place?
Because you just got randomly assigned roommates when I went there.
By whom?
By the people that run the apartment. They randomly assigned roommates.
That's crazy. I've never heard of that happening anywhere.
So
how expensive was this apartment?
It was like $600 a month for each individual person. So ultimately, the one apartment was $2,400 a month. Way too much for an apartment, but because they sell it to you as you get a room, it's not your apartment or anything like that. They find a way to make a shitload of money off of it.
Pay $18 for this place, right?
Yeah, I know. You get your whole entire house. Yes. Meanwhile, like, you know, they're making way more money on a place that's half the size. But that's just how it's basically student living, but it's independent from the college campus. Mm-hmm. So they can make a lot of money on it. And then what they do to make that money is they either spin it to you as it's cheaper than dorm living because living in a dorm is expensive, and then it's nicer than dorm living, which I don't even know if it's true because dorms are probably even smaller depending on which ones you're staying in. But
anyway, continue with more of these stories because I'm genuinely interested.
So a funny story about what happened after I moved out. After my that semester was over, or the second semester of that year was over, I left that apartment because it was just shit. And also, like, there was a parking garage and there was stairways where you could walk up because I don't think the elevator worked all the time. But people would get drunk, and when they would walk up to their apartments, they would piss in the stairways. So if you ever walked, because they're outdoor stairways because it's a parking garage, right? It's not like an indoor place. It's all concrete, and you know it's like, you know, there's open spaces like in the stairwell where you could just, there's no windows, but there's like holes where you could like see, you know what I'm talking about, right? Mm-hmm. So people would pee in the stairway. So the stairways always smelled like piss. And when I moved out, I was charged damages, and my parents were like, "Oh, you know, why were there damages charged?" So they went to the apartment. I didn't even go. I didn't even see what they saw because I was busy. I don't remember what I was doing. But they said that the entire apartment was filled with bottles that were filled with like tonic water, because tonic water glows under a black light, and there was black lights, and then they had dollar bills stapled to the ceiling.
Why?
For parties, I guess. So like somebody was living in my room. Somebody was living in my room who wasn't supposed to be there, but one of my roommates let them live there.
For without, like, how long?
For probably like months, like a month or two. Which is funny because it's like when you move out, they lock that door. You're not allowed to do anything with that room because they want to sell it to somebody else. So what they did was they picked the lock to let somebody into that room, and somebody was living there when they weren't supposed to. Which, I mean, for most of that time, there was already 2 people living there that weren't supposed to, and a dog that wasn't supposed to be there either. I think. I don't think they had a rule against the dogs, but like, you know, I don't
probably an extra. You have to pay.
It's an extra fee, so like, you know, they didn't tell them.
What was the job of these 2?
I don't know. I don't think they had a job. I know that one of my
what sustained them.
I have no idea. I know one of them had a job at UPS. One of them worked as a UPS delivery driver. I had another roommate who was actually a really good friend of mine. I have no idea how to contact him. And like he was a really cool guy. His name was Nayakim. And we would like actually hang out and like go places and watch movies together. And then the other guy, G, I have no idea what he did. I know he was a rapper. He remember me, like, you piece of shit. But like it was just so weird seeing him again. He was just such a shitty guy. Like, he wasn't ever like a dick to anybody really, except for he would get into constant fights with his fucking girlfriend. And there was one time he actually got into, I wouldn't call it a fist fight, but it was basically like a shoving match, where like he and my friend at the time, Nayakim, were arguing about like the temperature that the place was set, because it was like Nayakim liked it really cold and G didn't like it cold. So they got into a big fucking argument that ended up with them like pushing each other to the point where Nayakim literally ripped the thermostat off of the wall and was like, he ripped it off of the wall when G went back to his room and put a note on the thermostat where it was that just said, "Are you cold, bitch?" It was the funniest fucking
Who would win a fight between those 2?
Nayakim. G was a skinny, scrawny little fuck. And by little, I mean he was tall, but he was scrawny as shit.
What race was G?
Black.
Okay.
All of my roommates were black. Mm-hmm. And like, Nayakim was built for sports. You know what I mean? Like, he wasn't huge, but like, he was definitely big. And he could like fuck you up in a fight. He was probably about as tall as you are, maybe even taller. He was huge.
So like 6'3".
Yeah, something like that. Like, I know he played basketball too, but he would definitely kick G's ass if they were to fight, which is funny because it's like G was like also around that tall, at least 6 foot, maybe 6'2". But like, he was so skinny that I wouldn't even.
So did he have like a skinny man complex?
Maybe.
Where it's like you have to be like the tiny man complex, where if you're small, you gotta have a big bark.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
That's a thing.
I think it's just like, you know, his whole like idea of like rap culture or whatever, like hip hop industry culture, because he was one of those guys that like never amounted to shit, but meanwhile, like, you know, has like all that big talk because he thinks he's worth something because he raps. Which is not to say that if you are a rapper that you're not worth anything. I know rappers that are, you know, amazing actually, and, you know, make good art. It's just, the reality is it's hard to make it in the music industry. I don't know if anybody's told you that before. But like, yeah, it was just crazy. He's just a giant asshole is what he was.
Really?
Yeah. And when I saw him that time a year ago, he looked like a giant asshole.
Was he like insulting in any way, or like how? Like,
I mean, he just, you know, would do what he wanted. They wouldn't like ask, you know, anybody for like anything if you wanted something. Like, he'd probably eat your food. Like,
really?
Yeah, I remember that was like a problem we had. It's like people would eat each other's food. But like, yeah, just like generally an asshole.
What else? Like, I'm just going for content, bud.
Man. I'm trying to think about it.
I've never had a roommate, but I have had long-term guests.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, like Blake.
Yeah, and like another person. But like, I have had long-term guests. I've never. Everybody always enters things like, "Oh, I'll pay you for it eventually." You know, like, "Oh, I'll pay you back for all of this. I'll pay you back for this. If you let me stay here, I'll pay you back." And I learned a long lesson from my grandpa, actually, who's the best man I've ever met.
Yeah.
Who was like, you need to perceive those things as a gift.
Yes.
Do not perceive them as you're going to get money back. Because there are people who I have let stay in my house for a few months who have money Never brought it up again. Never brought up paying for it. Never brought up anything.
Yeah.
So I've never had like roommates. I've just had long-term guests, and they have like stained carpets in my room, in rooms in my home that I'm going to have to eventually pay for.
Yeah.
So I just kind of have to like, you have to view it as a guest thing. Is that bad? Yes. At the end of the day, though, it's not reflective on me.
Yeah.
It's reflective on another individual. I was helping them out, and if they want to do me dirty even after I helped them out, that's okay.
I've heard it called buying your karma, when you like do somebody a favor and like they talk about like paying you back and stuff like that, and then they don't. Or if you pay for something for somebody and then they go and say like, oh, like, you know, I'll pay you back for this, and they don't, that's buying your karma. It's like basically it's like an unwilling gift that you gave, but you gave a gift, so because of that, like, you're supposed to get like good luck, which karma is like
well, I paid for all of Blake's meals for an extended period of time. I paid for his...
But you couldn't have looked at Blake and expected him to, like, pay
board.
You back.
Yeah, but every time he would look me straight in the face and be like, I'll pay you back. I'll pay you back.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of like, no, you won't, but I'm going to smile and be like, of course, bro. Of course you will.
Yeah. It's a defense mechanism, I think.
Has money for it. Like, that's kind of one that gets on my nerves.
It's a defense mechanism where if you're with somebody and you can't afford something, or you're receiving something from somebody and you can't pay it back, your instinct is to say something that makes you appear more capable, and equal and more capable of what you're doing than you actually are. So like in his case, it's like, you know, I need to demonstrate to you that I am capable of doing this thing that you did for me. I just can't do it right now, and I'll make it even later, which it's not even a bad quality in people. It's just something that's there. You know what I mean? You can't look at that and say it's like objectively bad, because probably everything that
it is objectively bad. If you don't follow through with that, I think that that's bad.
I'm not saying like not following through with something isn't bad. I'm just saying like for a person to have that reaction, you know, to say
to have that reaction isn't bad. But if you say that and you never mean to pay it back,
if you intentionally are, you know, like just lying, then it's bad. But what I'm saying is like saying something like that isn't inherently malicious. You know what I mean?
And here's my opinion for you. Do you think that, or my question for you, do you think I am right, even though certain people that I've helped out are more than capable with paying me back now? Is it still good that I just accept that as a gift?
You should, I think. I mean, like,
I agree.
Because it's ultimately you just want to be a good person and you want to help out others, and even if you expect something in return, I mean, really giving a gift is better than receiving a gift. My grandfather actually, I don't know if I'm going to get the story 1,000% right, but I'm pretty sure I know it. My grandfather had a house that he owned, and he would rent it out to people. And there was this one family that he, like, you know, ran into that wanted to rent the house. But the thing is, they didn't have a whole lot of money. So whatever, like, he was charging for rent, I think he, like, decreased the price of the rent, and he let this family live here. And they lived there, I think, for a while, maybe a couple of years they lived in this house. And they were always reliable on the rent. And what my grandfather did is he never did anything with that money. He just collected it. And at the end, when the family moved out, he gave them back all the money that they paid for rent as a gift.
That is so nice.
Yeah. So it's like, they're just people that
must have been a huge amount of money.
Yeah, it was probably several thousands. I don't know how.
More than that. How many years did they live there?
That's the part of the story I don't know.
So if they lived there for like 2 years, that's like maybe $24,000 for a conservative home.
Mm-hmm. He probably, whatever it was, he gave them a lot. He did something that nobody has to do. Nobody should even feel that obligated to help somebody out. But he like saw that family. He wanted to do something nice for them. Which, I mean, you know, I hope I have that story right. I know that story happened, like those specific details. I just don't know how long they lived there. But I think they lived there for a long time.
There's it's a pain renting homes, man. When I was moving out of my first place and into a new home, I was with this
I had a very limited timeline, which was my own fault because, hey, I was like 19 years old, never done this stuff before.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, my fault for waiting that long. And it was kind of just like I needed to get out of my place as soon as I could. Like I still had some time, but I needed to get out of it as soon as I could. And there was this home and this couple that was renting it out there. And the home was smaller than the original home that I had.
Yeah.
It had a pool, though, but it was smaller.
Yeah.
And it was just really dark. And it was, like, not really a high-quality home at all. But I'm a kid. They don't want to rent it to me. They look at me really suspiciously. And I said that I would rent it from them if, like, I could get into it the next week.
Yeah.
Because, you know, like, there's some time stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, if you give me the keys, like, this week, like, I'll give you the first month's rent and then next month's rent in cash, which was, like, I forget exactly how much it was. I think it must have been, like, $3,000 or something, which I had been saving my money a lot, so that was, like, nothing. I was like, I'll give this to you right now if you let me have the house. And they sure changed their tone then, and they started treating me better too. Yeah, which is something that happens. It's like I'm a young guy. Yeah, so I'm either in a lot of places I'm treated one of two ways. People really either treat me bad in establishments. Yeah, or they go above and beyond to a crazy degree. And I think you've probably seen both.
I'm trying to think of, like, any time we've gone shopping, if I've ever seen anybody, like, look down at you. Every time we go shopping, like, it's always like, oh, like, we got to help this guy out. Look at the watch he's wearing. Yeah. But, like, I mean, I'm sure I've witnessed, like, older men looking down at you and stuff and going like, oh, he's young, he's got money. Like, yeah. Which is just a thing. I think we actually probably talked about that before, too.
But anyway, I was going to raise another question to you, and I think this is kind of a cool place to do it. So I'm thinking about renting for maybe a year, like a nice home. Yes. Like, just to see what it's like. Like, renting for a year, like, having an account for, like, a really nice home. Uh-huh. What do you think? Cool. Yeah. Yeah? Think I should go for it?
I mean, like, it's probably better to rent, like, a really nice big house than it is to just immediately buy one. Only because if you're going to, like, buy a house that is, like, really big, then you have to think to yourself, like, or you don't want to buy a home that's really big and then realize that once you're living there, because you're only living there on your own, that, like, oh, I don't feel comfortable all the time. Sorry about the foot. I don't feel comfortable all the time in this massive space that I can't, really fill.
I think it would be fun to rent a place like that just to see if I like it for
exactly. That's the thing. It's like renting it. It's kind of like a trial where, you're not buying a house, but you get to know what it's like to live in a big house. Because, like, I have an uncle who you remember that time when we went to my uncle's house on Easter and he lived in, like, a really nice big house? Yeah. There was one time he lived in a house twice the size of that house. Wow. With his family. It was gigantic. His house had a movie theater in it. Wow. And, like, it was him, his wife, and then their two kids, my cousins and my aunt. And the house was so big, even though they had a family of 4, they were just like, we can't live here. It's just too much empty space. It's too much to keep track of. It costs too much to run the air conditioning in this house. It's just completely unrealistic. So, I mean, like, now they still live in an amazing house, but, like, they went for this giant house and realized, like, there is like this thing about it that's just uncomfortable. Right. It's uncomfortable to check all your windows in that house to make sure they're all locked and all that. You know what I mean?
Anyway, just a thought. I also thought about, I'd like to talk about this, maybe getting a Tesla. Yeah. Yeah. One of my cars will be paid off in a month. And I think maybe I might trade it in for a Tesla. Yeah. Potentially.
Oh, okay. I see what you're doing. That would be cool.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think? But not like a normal Tesla.
Like a fast Tesla?
The fast Tesla.
Yeah. The one that gets to 60 in 3 seconds. Yeah. Yeah. That's a cool car. Teslas are cool.
Or I could just finance that one again and keep the 3.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing about doing the 3. It's just a lot to keep at your house.
Yeah, in my current home.
Yeah, because I just see you like getting so frustrated pulling cars out of your driveway to open the garage and then pull the car out of your garage to then
I have a game station in my garage that's not mine.
Yeah.
It's been here for a year. It's mine. That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Not a word has been said about that.
Oh, really?
What is your thought?
I say if you have it for a year, it's yours.
But I don't.
You leave something at my house for a year, it's mine.
Do you really think so?
Yeah, sure. I say sell it.
Do you think so?
Just go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that really a wise move, though?
Fun fact about that game station, if I remember this correctly, for all you YouTube fans, the game's... okay, never mind.
Yeah. But it's annoying because
I just was greeted with the most violent sideways head shake for no, don't say it.
Yeah. It takes up room. You've seen it, right? I think I'm just going to trash it.
Oh, really?
I'm not even going to sell it.
Okay. I mean, hey, man.
It would be really great if they just came over and just took it.
Yeah.
But it's just getting on my nerves. That thing's been in there for over a year.
Yeah. I remember it being here last year. Like a year ago.
Legitimately, honest Anthony, what do you think I should do with it?
Okay, here's the thing. You could either do one of 3 things. One of them I think is dumb, which is selling it. You could either contact the person and be like, hey, like, do you think you could like take this back soon so I could like just clean up around my house? Or you could trash it. And then if that person were to ask for it back or even talk about it, you could be like, I just got rid of it, man. Because you left it in my house for a year. I am sorry. But like at a certain point, what am I going to do? I wanted it out of my house. You should have taken it back. Like at a certain point, you're justified in those actions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a level of responsibility where it's like if you don't put anything into action, you can't expect to have that thing anymore.
Right. Mm-hmm.
It's probably a good lesson for most things in life.
Yeah. I legitimately think I'm just going to throw it away.
Just go for it.
I don't want it. I can only have one car in my garage.
Yeah.
Because of that one thing. So
I would never just because of the way I drive, I would never put 2 cars in one garage.
Yeah.
Because then I'd have to pull it out.
Well, I've done it
and
before.
I would
like,
be afraid of hitting
This is
something.
what's happening.
Yes.
If a hurricane happens.
You want them in your garage, yeah.
And that game station is going to go outside.
Mm-hmm. I just like hit my funny bone.
I just think that's such a dick move, too. It's just like, come on, man.
Yeah. Are you taking your like stress out on my keys right now?
Yeah. Oh yeah. What is this, by the way?
What?
Is that a bottle opener?
No, that's a drum key.
Oh yeah, you've told me.
Yeah,
about
for
that.
tuning drums and adjusting hardware. That is not what a bottle opener looks like, my friend. You can open a bottle with that.
Yes, I could.
You could find a way.
Watch.
That's a water bottle, man. You can't even. It's a twist. Okay. He's just violently hitting it with my drum key. Fun fact about that drum key, I stole it from a church. I saw it on the floor, and I said, you know what? I really like that because it has a keyhole, or it's got a hole in it for a keychain ring. So I just took it.
So, how far are we? How long have we been talking?
An hour and 7 minutes, actually. Yeah.
All right. Well, guys.
You just cut it short.
That's a great length podcast right there.
All right.
Well, everyone, we talked about some not movie stuff for once.
Yeah, we never talked about movies.
We talked about roller coasters. We talked about shitty roommates. I think you talked a lot.
Yeah.
I listened a lot. Mm-hmm. Good job. Everyone,
Yeah.
This is me signing out. I'm saying this because I got to go pee.
Okay.
Now you can sign out.
Okay, follow on Instagram at Anthony Alicio, at Anthony_Alicio, that is. Follow me on Twitter at Jeff Super. Every 2 weeks I'll post something, I promise. And subscribe on iTunes and subscribe on YouTube. And I think that's it for all the things. So, yeah. Also, if you watch this on YouTube, read the descriptions. I spend way too much time thinking of funny descriptions to say it's like a little Easter egg thing. They're always really weird. But anyway, we're glad that you took the time to listen to us, and we look forward to creating more content for you guys in the future. Goodbye.